Okay, there we go. I'm going to share my screen. Window. Oh. All right. Let's hide this one. Okay. Give me a thumbs up, Oya. You see us? Awesome. Yeah, as I started out with Miguel here as well, networking is really important for a lot of reasons. Is to meet other people in the industry, builders. Some people go to like builder conferences. Some go to network with other realtors. Some go to the trade industries and so forth. There's all kinds of places to network. There's BNI events where you get together with a group that refer business to each other. But it's a way of getting yourself out there. And it's all too often, even in my role, what we'll have is someone will say, well, who works in this area? Right? If I don't know who works in that area, I can't refer them. But or they're looking for an inspector, or looking for an appraiser, or looking for whatever. And that's where oftentimes you might meet somebody at an event. You get the information, and the first thing you think of is the person you met at the event. That's where networking comes in. So today we're covering sort of prepared by HomeSmart, the networking 101. But feel free to unmute yourself, share what you do as we go along, or ask questions. Okay. Here we go. Networking 101. All right. So what is networking? Obviously, we read on the screen here. Networking for real estate agents involves actively building and maintaining relationships with potential clients, fellow agents, and industry professionals to generate leads, foster collaborations, and stay informed about market trends, ultimately enhancing business opportunities and the credibility in the real estate industry. It encompasses both in-person and online interactions to create a robust professional network. And some of you are doing this without even knowing it. You may get together with other realtors that say, hey, you work in the Woodlands area, and I work down in the Sugar Land area. Whenever I get business, I'll refer them to you, and vice versa. And you may get together for lunch or coffee, and that's still networking. So we all do it in some capacity, but oftentimes it's taken to that next level and say, well, okay, what's my elevator pitch? Do I have my cards? Where am I? And be intentional about when we go to places about, reaching out and connecting over or for business. So, okay. So today, obviously, we're going over the basics of what networking is. So the goal is that we will have a better understanding of networking and how to begin your networking journey if you haven't done it, or expand it if you have. And so we'll cover what is networking, the benefits of networking, setting networking goals. Obviously, that's important to have a goal and an objective to hit. Building on your elevator pitch, so I just mentioned that, and then networking tips. Now, I'm not saying I'm the best at networking. I like people, I like engaging, but this is one of those things where you have to. It's not about being social. It's about, hey, engaging. Hey, nice to meet you. What do you do? How can I serve you, and so forth. So, all right. All right. Obviously, networking enables you to make connections. You meet people you haven't met before. Your sphere of influence grows bigger. You find connections, not only realtors, people in industry, engineers, maybe home stagers, you name it, or even just business people. They're like, oh, okay, that will generally either want to buy or sell in some time, but they have family, they have connections, they have employees. So you're making connections. That's really what it is. And then you're growing your database. Your people that you can mail things to, people that you can connect with. Obviously, getting referrals. So if there's an immediate need where, hey, well, I know somebody looking for a house, you can get a referral that way, or looking to sell a house. But it's long term as well. Once you make the connection and you connect, follow up with them, you build that relationship, and the more when opportunities arise where someone says, hey, I'm looking for a realtor, you're top of mind for them. And of course, with that, you grow your business without having to pay for it. You're out there engaging and building rapport and building business. So the benefits, obviously, is lead generation. You're going to meet new leads. You're going to be referred new leads. You're going to add to your database. You're going to have a sphere that you're going to connect with. The more often you connect with them, they're going to see you as a professional. They're going to connect with you, and they like you. They're going to want to help you. And so part of that is just that lead generation is so you can get them in to the point where you're making contact and following up with them. And then client referrals, obviously, you want those people to refer to you, your past clients to refer to you, but also the people in the industry. Oh, I know the right agent for this neighborhood or this market or whatever. And then market insights, all right? When you network, you get kind of more feedback. You're outside your own bubble. You're talking to people. What's your market like? What's going on? What are you doing for marketing? What are you doing for meeting with buyers or sellers or lenders or whatever? So you get that kind of feedback and insight, and you get a chance to work with each other. Sometimes you meet people and go, "Oh, I'm doing that. Hey, won't we partner together, like many of our realtors do, with a lender or somebody else, and go after the military clients or whatever?" So there's this collaborative type opportunity when you meet people that are kind of going the same direction that you are. Obviously, the benefits of effective doing it well is you have professional support. You have a wider net of people that you are connected to. It's amazing when you want something done or connect whether through AHAR or Texas Realtors or other brokerages. If I've already got a pre-existing relationship where I met them somewhere, I can call up another broker and say, "Hey, Joe, this is a problem," and it's resolved much quicker because we've already got that connection, if you will, versus someone that's cold and say, "Hey, who are you?" Right? Access to resources, the same thing. If it's really done well, you have more resources. You have a bigger list of people you can draw from that do different things. So which you provide that value to your clients too, because you've now met an engineer, you now met a dentist, you now met whatever that you can say, "Hey, met a really great person at this networking event. I communicate with them, Dr. So-and-so." Brand visibility, the more you're out there, the more that people get to know you as the realtor, you as the Home Smart agent, you as Jay or Oya or Jamal. Then they go, "Oh, that's the person to call." It's really about visibility. I always joke about this. I used to back many, like 20 plus years ago before I got married, going out dancing, right? I have friends that would stand in a corner and cross their arms and no one would talk to them. Because first of all, you couldn't see them, but they were very standoffish. I'd be like on top of the speaker wearing bright yellow. And of course, everybody come talk to me because I was visible, right? It's kind of that thing. You got to be visible without being crazy, but still visible. And then partnerships, right? Maybe you work together like a BNI group, or you put together a group of people that like, "Hey, you're a lender. Hey, you're an inspector. You're whatever. Why don't we work together and agree to refer business to each other?" Because oftentimes they'll get leads that they need a realtor for, or they'll need leads that need a lender and so forth. And you just got, "Okay, this is my group of people that I refer business to." It's a great benefit of doing networking well. All right. Setting goals, though, is crucial. So that's one thing to talk about. It's another thing just to go out and do it. So we have to grow it ourselves. And part of that is going to these events. Sometimes it's a chamber of commerce. Sometimes it's the Rotary Club, whatever it may be. You get engaged in community where you're serving, adding value, letting people know what you do. But you also have to be purposeful about your goals of trying to get to the end where you have more clients, more referrals, a better sphere of influence, and so forth. So setting networking goals helps real estate agents proactively manage their professional connections, leading to increased business opportunities, continual learning, and resilient presence in a competitive real estate market. And many of you know that I'm licensed in Washington, Idaho, Alabama, and Texas. So as far as business wise, and in every one of those states, in every one of those major metropolitan areas, it's usually about 20% of the agents that do the majority of the business. It seems, and they're more present, right? And so oftentimes they're the most known in the industry as well. So be aware of that. You can be the most known, the go-to person in your neighborhood, in your industry, in your sphere, but this adds to it. Being present makes you more long-lasting. And when anybody, even if they had met you once, they go, "Oh, I see them everywhere. They're at these events. They're networking. They must be good. I'll refer business to them." So just think about that. All right. So goals wise, if any goal, it has to be smart. We have to, it's got to be specific. It's got to be measurable. It's got to be attainable. It's got to be realistic. It's got to be timely. So you got to have like sort of like, what am I going to do? I'm going to lose 30 pounds in the next 6 months, blah, 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 blah. Here's what I'm going to do to it. So short-term goals, it says, is to attend 2 networking events in the next 3 months. So book out your calendar, find a networking event that may be interesting to you, whether it be a horror event, a builder event, whatever it may be, schedule it and plan on being there, right? And then get 3 other agents' contacts info while you're there. The idea here is you're going to connect with other agents, obviously other industry people, but this is the idea, to connect with other agents to build sort of your referral database in different areas. And then it says make 3 connections with other local professionals. So 3 agents and 3 other local professionals. Like I said, it could be a dentist, it could be an engineer, it could be a lawyer for that matter. All great. And oftentimes attorneys are great referral sources for business. But if they're in probate, if they're in bankruptcy attorneys, all too often they need a good realtor partner. Okay. And then the long-term goals, basic long-term goals, is to strengthen your online presence. Once you're out there networking, they're going to go look you up. You want to have them have a place to go to with your website, with your branding, with your social media. Whatever you do, have a plan in place long-term that when you start building your reputation locally and in person, that they can go kind of spy and check out, oh yeah, they got a pretty good online presence as well that kind of matches the presence that they're promoting in person. Then, of course, establish a presence in your state and across other regions. This is kind of the referral stuff. If you're focused in Houston, great. You might have some connections in Austin or in San Antonio and Dallas or in other states like I do. Yeah, Jamal, go ahead.
Is blogging still a good online resource to show your presence in the market?
Is what?
Blogging. If you have a blog, is it still...
Google, I mean, I'm not the expert on like technology when it comes to those type of things, but they do see that blogging is still picked up very highly with Google because it's content, right? So it comes up faster. So blogging is a good way. It shows your expertise. It shows that you have content delivery. So it's really good. Other things, people do videos, reels, whatever it may be, but you really want a good web presence. And then you want some of that content, like you said, whether it be a blog or a post or something like that. And you want some kind of way of eventually for those that are sent to your website to connect with you or to receive something, to opt in, like a newsletter or something. So those are things that are more of a follow-up part of your database, but you're trying to get them into your database, and that's part of one of the ways, like a capture page. But yeah, you start off going to these short-term events, these networking events. And if you can do 2 events where you do 3 realtors and 3 professionals and then follow up with them, then you got 6 of each, right? That's 12 more people that you're meeting and connecting with. And then of course, the long-term would be just continue building that process.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right, so networking is important. You master your elevator pitch. This is one of those things. People go, "What do you do?" Right? And this really is. They would develop a concise and compelling elevator pitch that introduces you and your services. Be ready to articulate what makes you unique and how you can benefit others. I've heard many different versions of this, and then you can polish it. And it really doesn't. It doesn't start off by "My name's Oya. I grew up in blah 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 blah. I've been doing real estate for 30 years." That's not an elevator pitch. Elevator pitch is, I help people make their dreams come true by buying and investing in real estate in this area, whatever. It's very specific. Or I help people make ROI on their commercial investments in the greater Houston area. You got to develop your own sales pitch that makes you unique, but it's short, 30 seconds. The elevator pitch is supposed to be like 30 seconds or less to introduce yourself. I'm Marty McClendon. I'm blah, 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 right? And so we'll work more on that, but that's really is, you can research it. We'll have some training as well in the future on developing your elevator pitch. But it's short and sweet, and people have to be interested. It's like a hook. This is what I do. For a lot of realtors, like 75,000 realtors in HAR alone, right? Well, okay. Well, what would make you different? And all of us work hard. Whatever, some of us work harder than others, right? It's proven in the results. But the point is that won't differentiate you. What is it that differentiates you when meeting somebody? They go, "Oh, okay, let me have your card." And that's really the goal, is to exchange information and build contacts. So this says building an elevator pitch in the simplest terms is keep it short. Provide a specific example. You can give any example if you want to. I helped someone who, whatever the credit repair. They were struggling with a lower credit. I got them connected with a lender who was able to improve it to buy their first home. Or I in a market where things were taking 6 months to sell, I sold 2 properties over asking price with in less than 10 days, whatever. Make a connection. I mean, the goal here is it's business, but you're making a connection. Are you likable? Are they likable? Do you want to do business with them, right? So you're making a connection and you're getting a commitment. I'm going to follow up with you, right? And then there's tricks about you using your phone to put your data, their information in your phone. And you just text them so that you both have their information. There's cards you can scan and so forth. There's really some really cool stuff, but really it's about making a connection, however you do it. And then, of course, tailor your pitch to the audience. So if you're in an audience full of it's medical professional, well, okay, it's going to be a little different, right? If you're in a bunch of realtors, well, pitch is going to be a little bit different to them because they're all realtors, right? But you want to make connections about referrals. If you're in a industry event with builders, right? Well, your pitch is going to be towards builders. You specialize in providing sales for builders or buyers working with builders, construction, and whatever. So tailor your pitch to your audience. So have a few prepared, obviously, but you can use the same elevator pitch, but modify it for the audience, if that makes sense. All right. Now, this is a great option. We all belong to the Realtor Association. We have to, but they do have a lot of opportunities. This is one where from mostly involved in Washington when I was there. I was legislative steering on the membership committee, on communications committee, whatever. They are always looking for people to get involved and serve. And there's a great way of networking. But most of them will have a bi-yearly, a fall and a spring conference. And this is usually, a small percentage of the realtors statewide or that go to these things, but they're mostly it's the brokers, it's high producing agents, it's realtors that are involved in the industry, but there's referrals like crazy on steroids there. You go, you show up, you learn, you hear some few speakers, you meet some people, and you do a lot more business because you're networking with those that are doing business. Does that make sense? And so referrals are a huge key for going to these conferences, and they're really low cost, and they usually have a legislative day as well where all the realtors meet in Austin. And that's another great way of networking with other realtors as well. So it's HARP, obviously, it's the great place to start, but they have events all the time where it's a good place to start networking with other realtors. Local events, and we talk about this real estate. I just mentioned this real estate conferences. It's like it's reading my mind. Industry meetups. There's all kinds of things on different social media apps that have meetups in person. There's and those are great things to connect with other realtors. Sometimes builders will have these big networking events. Community events. If you're in a community like Cypress or Katy or Woodlands, or like I'm up here in Montgomery, go to community events. Wear your name tag, bring your business cards, right? Yeah, you're having fun, you're enjoying it, but you're meeting the local citizens, local business owners, you're meeting local elected officials, you're meeting whatever, and you're introducing yourself. The point is to build your connections. And again, you're networking in a way that doesn't seem very salesy, but you're out there meeting people because you're a business person. So you're meeting other fellow business people. And open houses. This is one that you don't think as a networking part, but what are you doing? You are present and people are coming to review the house, but oftentimes they're people. You're connecting with them. Now you're networking. Hey, what do you do? Where are you from? What's your industry? Here's my card. Beyond just the sales of the house or other houses, it could be a chance to add people to your database that may or may not have an agent. Obviously you want to ask them that. Are you working with somebody? But they may be in an industry that you don't have a connection with yet, that you can send referrals to, that doesn't have to do with real estate. So be aware of that, the opportunity, and especially newer agents too. A lot of our listing agents have a lot of listings that they can't service at a full level, and they're looking for buyers agents to hold open houses. And so those are really good ways to pick up some new leads and new people for your database. All right. So one of the first things people do after meeting somebody is look them up online, which I just talked about earlier. Because of that, it's very important to establish an online professional presence. Make sure you have a polished LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram profiles. Now, this is one where I struggle with as well. Being in leadership, oftentimes I'll have a personal one that I merge with business. It's really important that you have a business presence if you can for your LinkedIn, your Facebook, and your LinkedIn, Instagram. You can have your personal ones too, but this is one where you're posting content. You look at presenting the image of you as a professional, as a real estate professional. So it says develop a polished and professional online presence. It includes a well-designed website, which we have our Smart Sites 2.0, but you can use whatever you want to do. Active social media profiles means you're posting on a regular basis where there's content, you're adding value, and a lot of that content you can get for free from your MDC, Marketing Design Center, to add stuff. But you can also provide local information. If you do videos, you do video tours, you do what's happening in numbers. There's lots of things you can do to add value that people might want to know on your professional sites. And of course, that says a professional headshot. So obviously, you want to make sure that you present a professional image on all of them and make them consistent. Facebook, your Instagram, and so forth. Ashley Guth. Yep, not from 1980. Yes, updated. That's right. Don't use your photograph from 20 years ago. Although I do like my photograph from 20 years ago, but yeah, definitely older and heavier from 20 years ago. But yes, we do see that quite often in business cards as well. Like, that's not the same person I met. But anyway, good call. All right. This is interesting. Use social media effectively. We had a class last year on Instagram. We're going to have some more coming up here this year from professionals to come in and teach on this. But actively engage on social media. It says connect with other real estate professionals and potential clients, share valuable content, participate in discussion. This is the one that I needed to be better about, is participating more on basis about just communicating and commenting on and doing whatever. And you don't have to take all day to do this, but you can dedicate certain time in the morning or in the evening to do this and be fine. And then showcase your expertise. If your expertise is listing homes in a certain neighborhood, showcase that in different ways. And there's ways to do a video or a testimonial or whatever, pictures where it's consistent. You're still highlighting your expertise, but in different ways. And so that's social media in a gist. But it's just basically, here's what I do. Here's how I can help. Here's some extra stuff. But it doesn't have to be dry. You can have fun with it. You can post things about the community that you serve. You can post things about upcoming events. You can post things about the business you have or the closings you have as well. So it's kind of a mix that you're still a professional, but you're a human as well. All right. This is obviously another key aspect of networking is building relationships. Everything we do in life is about relationships. It's just your faith relationship, your relationship with your spouse, your partner, your children, your neighbors. Business is the same thing. The stronger your relationships are, typically the stronger your business is because, you're building that trust and credibility with people that you meet. And you're building that relationship over time where they want to send you business. They want to work with you. They want their kids to work with you and their family to work with you. So connect with other professionals in related industries, such as mortgage brokers, attorneys, home inspectors, appraisers. Sometimes these connections can lead to referrals and partnerships. Now, some of them may have been approached by many realtors, in some cases like mortgage brokers or attorneys, but there's thousands of them out there. So connect with some and provide value and build on it. I've had lenders that where I had a dedicated set of lenders I worked with, and I did all my business with. But I had lenders continue to come by and ask to have my business. And I usually, okay, I'll throw you a bone and have one deal with you. And then over time, some of those lenders became my primary lender permanent because they worked hard enough and consistent enough, and they were able to serve my clients in a way that I was really impressed with. I'm like, okay, I can trust you now, and I work. And same for us. We want to build a relationship with somebody. Sometimes it's just getting that first opportunity, and then really wowing them with service, and then becoming their main referral source. So be thinking about that as well. It may not happen overnight, but as we work hard and build that trust, it will. Then follow up. This is the biggest thing for all realtors, experienced realtors or new realtors, when it comes to any type of lead. The leads you buy, the leads you meet, the referrals you meet, the connections you meet, the networking events where you want to add them to your database. After making a connection, follow up promptly. Send a personalized email to them or connect on LinkedIn to express your appreciation for the meeting and suggest future collaboration. Follow up is key on everything we do. It's timely. If you don't follow up for a week, it's like almost like dating. Well, you're not that interested, right? So it's something that you got to be consistent on every basis. Following up with your clients, following up with your leads. Follow up is the difference between being really successful and mediocre successful. And that's also the long-term follow-up. And when you have a database and you have a system in place where you follow up with your clients once a month, or you follow up with your past clients once a month, and their friends, maybe it's once a quarter, whatever it is, be consistent and follow up with them, because that will make a difference. Because the worst thing a realtor can hear is someone they worked with, they liked, they had a great relationship, they did a great job with somebody, and then a year later they go, "I didn't know you were still in business, but if we pick somebody else," right? That's just horror stories because they didn't follow up. That's the biggest thing. All right, some tips from HomeSmart and obviously from me is work on your elevator pitch. It doesn't have to be long. I said 30 seconds, short and to the point. Get some examples for it. Be practicing that. So when you meet people, hey, I'm Marty McClendon. This is what I do, right? Remember people's names and use them. This is the really hardest part of networking for me is I see a lot of faces, I meet a lot of people, but it's really helpful to repeat their name. Hey, Renata, it's nice to meet you in person. Renata, I'm going to follow up with you. And so you can remember that, and then make sure you write it down, get their information, and then follow up will help seal their name in your brain, because it's really hard when you see somebody, you're like, I know you. What was their name again? It's not quite as impressive if you don't remember the name. So remember the names and use them in conversation and in follow-up. And then start from your inner circle and work outward. This is always key. We all have, whatever thousands of friends we have on Facebook, whatever. Those aren't really your friends. You want to start with the people that are closest to you, and build a relationship, and you want to go out and then their connections and outward, different degrees. And there's a way to sort your database too, based on the closeness of your connection. And so the cadence of how much you follow up with them can based on your A people, your B people, and C people, and so forth, however you sort them. Because those that are going to refer to you, will refer a lot to you, need a lot more contact and more often. Your close-knit family, right? Your spouse and your kids obviously are inner, but then the next one's your close friends. The next one after that is maybe your close work colleagues. Next one after that could be people that are you've done business with, and so on and so on. And then network with a wide range of people. That's another thing that's a really good tip there is we oftentimes get so tunnel focused in doing what we always do that there's missed opportunities. If there's something that, hey, there's a group of people that are in insurance and they're having, what a great place to go meet people that don't do real estate, but need realtors, right? So be thinking about meeting people in a wide range of different industries and events and communities and so forth. And that is all we have. So it's basic 101 on networking, but really it's doing it. Is making a plan, finding the calendar, finding a couple of events, commit to doing 2, committing to getting 3 realtor connections and getting 3 any industry connections as well, and then put them in your database and follow up with them, and then propose maybe a coffee, maybe something to follow up. Hey, I want to send some business to you. Maybe send them something. Hey, this is what I do. Maybe when they get information that you're selling properties or listing properties, they keep top of mind. They go, yeah, okay. I got someone now looking for property in this area. I'm going to send them over to Ashley, right? So any thoughts on that, guys? No? Good. All right. Well, that's our quick and down and dirty 30 minutes on Networking 101. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye. Yeah, I'll stop the recording.